Yo, what's good, everybody? If you're a fan of the channel, if you've come to the stream, you know I love control decks. Today, we've got a fun one centered around Aero, Daredevil, Professor X, the classic control cards, but there's different ways of how we're gonna get power into these lanes. Before I show you the deck, I usually hate doing this, especially in the beginning of a video. If you've been here before, if you're a fan of the channel, please subscribe to the channel. We are super close to 1,000 subs. At the time of this recording, we are only 42 away, and we're hoping that we can hit it before the new year. So if you hit that sub button, it would help us reach our goal, and I would really appreciate it. Now let's jump into this deck. So here's the deck right below me, and I know everybody plays Aero in a Death Wave deck, but today we wanted to do something a little different. We wanted to have a much bigger focus on control. And of course, where every great control deck starts, it honestly starts with Daredevil. Dropping Daredevil on turn 2 and allowing you to see your opponent's turn 5 card lets us really figure out exactly what we want to do to try and lock down a location on turn 5. The cards to help us do that are of course going to be Professor X. He is the perfect card when you're talking about Daredevil. You get to see exactly what your opponent is doing, then you drop Professor X in the perfect location and lock down that zone. And if you can't get Professor X, well, we got Spider-Man in there who's going to shoot up webs at that side of the board, and your opponent will not be able to play any cards there. And of course, we have the Queen of turn 5. If you don't have Professor X, if you don't have Spider-Man, Aero does the job. She's gonna move your opponent's card that they played to whatever location you decide that that belongs at. Now, in an ideal world, you want to use her on turn 6 because the disruption on turn 6 is absolutely astounding with Aero. However, I really found that using her on turn 5 after knowing what Daredevil is going to show us kind of became more of the situation that I was following as I was testing this deck, because we also have two great 6-drop cards that are going to help you in the same situation. The first one is Magneto. He's a 12 power body that's going to move all opposing 3 and 4 cost cards to his location. You can really disrupt an opponent's game plan with that kind of play. And the other 6-drop is Dr. Doom. And the reason that we got Dr. Doom in here is because sometimes you just got to spread out your power. Sometimes there's a location that you can't get to otherwise. You're not allowed to play any cards there, and Dr. Doom is going to go ahead and throw a Doom bot in that location. Or maybe your opponent flooded a location, you're down a little bit. Dr. Doom is going to help in all those perfect situations. So choosing between Magneto, Doom, and Aero gives you a lot of options on turn 6. And another big power body that we have involved in this deck is going to be Rescue. In a perfect world, you sit there, you play Rescue on turn 4, and then you go ahead and you drop Professor X or Spider-Man into her location, and you lock down that lane with an extra 9 power from Rescue. She's in here because with all the control, you're not necessarily getting the power you want at every location, and all of a sudden she's a huge body at 4 energy. And of course, what would a control deck be without Shang-Chi and Cosmo? They're both incredible cards to stop your opponents from either getting a big combo off or just killing their high-powered creature. We have armor in the deck to both stop all the destroy cards from going off and to protect your precious little Sunspot, who's gonna be the ideal 1-drop and is gonna gain you some power over time if you don't use up all your energy. And the last card in the deck is Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is there so that we have a little flexibility and an option to move around this 2-power drop to a certain location that we're gonna maybe need him at the end of the game. He provides a little bit of utility similar to Dr. Doom if there's a location that you can't get to and you didn't draw Doom. All in all, I've really been enjoying this control deck. I just kind of love the idea of disrupting your opponent's time and controlling exactly how you want the board to play out. So let's take you into some gameplay. And right now we got TVA, so that could be an issue. We don't actually have any location control here, so we're gonna have to see how this works, especially since we didn't get a 1-drop. That's really unfortunate. Here comes a bunch of squirrels to come and save the day. I don't know about that. I'm not convinced on that. Let's drop Daredevil here. So now we're leading one, he's leading one, and we're tied to the other. Let's see what we got going on. I think we're just going to Cosmo into Dark Dimension. This way he has no idea that that's coming. And we are tactically leading at 2 different locations. I don't know if he plans on changing TVA. I have no clue. So we're going to just go ahead and do the best that we can here. And the best that we can is put armor on the right and drop Sunspot in the middle and have him retreat. And we got the Bifrost as the first location. We don't have either one of our 1 drops, so that doesn't really help out too much. And we got to face Thanos, so this should be an interesting battle. 2 Raptors, that hurts us a little bit. Thanos is probably going to have a thing like Khazar in the deck, and, you know, it's going to be a rough time. But let's go ahead and play Daredevil out there, because if we could just take over one of those locations on turn 5, things might change very drastically for us. Well, the good news about Nova being out there is that he's probably got Killmonger, which is nice. I kind of want to hang on to Cosmo so I can see what's going on, but really, we've got to put something out there just to make sure that we are staying on track. Kind of a tempo play here, so we're going to play Cosmo and see if he ends up stopping something on the left that might, you know, break our opponent's heart or whatever. Quinjet, Time Stone, Cosmo. He's just probably going to play Killmonger somewhere else. It's not really going to make that much of a difference, to be honest. So everything's about to get moved. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to Spider-Man right here in the middle in Savage Land. And everything's going to get kind of shifted over, moved over. You drop the Space Stone, and there goes Killmonger, who's going to get set off. And that's why we didn't want to start. We didn't want to play our Sunspot. But the only person that's going to live here is Killmonger, which is kind of wild. And now we have Mindscape, which hurts. That's a little rough. That's a little rough. I don't like Mindscape at all. But there's no way for him to change it, and he goes ahead and he snaps. He plays the Hood, he plays a Power Stone, he plays Death. That puts us in a little bit of a rough spot, but we're going to play Professor X right here in the middle to protect ourselves, to just make sure that we win one location, because against a Thanos Death deck or Thanos Destroy deck, whatever, it's going to be, we're going to be in a tough position. He cannot Aero us anywhere, so we know he's got Aero, and we know that he can't do anything about that. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna play Angela, Armor, and Demon. He's already at -2 there, and we have priority. I think he's just gonna quit, to be honest, but this is what we're doing. There goes Angela, there goes Armor, and there goes Demon. Aero and Sunspot is not good enough. GG's. And you saw what locking down that middle location meant to us. So let's take this deck into at least one more game. We had a TVA game, and then we had kind of a Mindscape game where we ended up winning because we kind of outsmarted the opponent. We knew that he wasn't going to be able to use Aero in that situation. Peak is massive for our hand, especially with Professor X in. We could play Professor X on turn 3, okay? Armor does get a little more expensive, but Professor X and Doom became much better cards for us. And we're going to have to skip another turn, and we're going to have to just figure out exactly what to do here. He plays Bucky. And we're going to go ahead. We're actually going to take the risk and try and lock down Baxter Building right away. Hope that he isn't able to destroy right now. And he's not. And there goes Professor X locking down the middle. We automatically are gonna win 3 power. That's crazy. Oh man, he's so sad right now. He's so upset right now, and who could blame him? Let's drop rescue on the left, and we are just going to straight up just take over right here. I don't even know how he could stick around. Dropping Professor X, having Professor X's power and energy switched is just a killer. Yeah, you can't Killmonger, bud. They're stuck inside Professor X's location, bud. And look at this, and we get to show off exactly how this works. He left. Spider-Man would have just locked down the peak, the left side location for us. I guess he didn't realize Killmonger wouldn't work against Professor X. So the last game was kind of short, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna show you one more game. We're dropping Sunspot on turn 1, of course. That is our ideal situation. That is our ideal play. And he's got Nova out there. I actually think this is the same exact opponent from the last game. I wish we had drawn armor there, because he would have just he would have lost it. He would have lost it. But we didn't draw armor, you know? It sucks, but here we are. We're just soaking up energy with Sunspot. We don't have anything else to do. Is he terrified right now? Because he knows what this deck is capable of. There goes Deadpool. Oh my god, give me armor. Give me armor. One time, give me armor. Cosmo? Cosmo works. Let's just hope that he's not breaking out the destroy card right here. And he is. Okay. Okay. All right, so we were a little too late on Cosmo. That's unfortunate, but it's all right. We'll make do. Let's go ahead, drop rescue right here on the Baxter building. You know he's coming at us with some sort of play here. Deadpool Carnage. He's getting it off right away because he knows that we are liable to have something like armor in the deck. But what he doesn't see coming is Spider-Man actually preventing him from playing on turn 6 at Baxter Building, which is a massive advantage for us. This is going to give us 8 power here in the middle location, and it's going to allow us to stop him from playing on turn 6 here. So he might break out Deadpool and then Venom, and then we got Spider-Man out there. We're going to be winning the Baxter Building because we can always just turn around and Shang-Chi, his big creature. He storms. He knew it was coming. Unfortunately, we cut him off from there anyway. So he can't do anything at the flooded location. He can't do anything on the left. And all we have to do is actually just Aero into Warrior Falls and put Nightcrawler on the left, and it's game over. GG's, adios. We don't care. You could take over the right location because we just won the game. Good game. GG's. Let's go. So that's our Aero, Daredevil, Professor X control deck. I just feel like there's a lot of different options that you can use on turn 5 and turn 6. I really love that in a deck. I feel like in order to succeed, I need a ton of different possible win conditions just to try and outthink my opponent. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And again, subscribe to the channel because we are almost at 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of your day.